Shalom, shalom, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. And of course, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, all right, for teaching me his truth, all right, and who, without a doubt, are the only true teachers of the nation of Israel and have been for quite a while now, all right. Wow, in this video I came across, at some point we've all asked ourselves, well, these Jakes that serve on these various police departments throughout America, why don't you see more of them jumping in when you see these racist ass Edomite so-called white cops brutalizing fellow Jakes? Wow. We sift through some of the reasons that we think could be the issue, and what it boils down to is raw, naked fear. Think about it, because of course you got a lot of sellouts among our people also, but at the root of all this is fear. You might have a family, you may not, but you're in with these good old boys, all right, and you see things and hear things throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the months and years that you work alongside these devils, and you pretty much at a certain point early on figure out that, well, and you always hear these reasons why Jakes get into the police department. We're going to change things from the inside, and early on you figure out this is bullshit, it's not going to work. But you stay the course, and in doing so, your views change over time. But in this case, we have an officer that did just that. All right, you probably never heard of this officer. And to show you how petty and devious and just outright wicked these Edomites, these so-called white people are, what they did to this officer. This is from the sunnysidesun.com. All right. Now, she didn't lose her life, but wow, we just got to play this. It says, black cop fired after intervening on chokehold. I lost everything. Here she is right here. Carriel Horn is her name. All right, she was fired after she stepped in to stop her white colleague who had a suspect in a chokehold. All right. Goes to show you also, this is not about law enforcement. You got to remember, when it comes to them dealing with us, you got to go and get a little history lesson on how the police force, not the sheriff, which is covered in the Constitution, but the police force, what did it originate from? All right. And it goes back to slavery and the slave patrols, the paddy rollers, and all of this. All right. There's a deep, dark, sinister history here. So let's go ahead and roll this clip. Commercials, what can you do?
George Floyd's death has put a spotlight on police brutality, and it's also raised questions about when police officers should stop being bystanders and step in. But back in 2006 in Buffalo, New York, a black police officer did exactly that.
Salaki, Akim, Salaki. More advertisements.
George Floyd's death has put a spotlight on police brutality, and it's also raised questions about when police officers should stop being bystanders and step in. But back in 2006 in Buffalo, New York, a black police officer did exactly that. Officer Carriel Horn stopped a white colleague from choking a suspect during an arrest, and she got fired for it. Officials at the time claimed that Officer Horn put her fellow officers at risk, including the white police officer whose chokehold she stopped. Well, now, more than a decade later, the Buffalo City Council has voted to ask the state attorney general, Letitia James, to reinvestigate Horn's firing. I want to know what you thought as you watched the video of George Floyd.
It was heartbreaking because I know that he did not have to die had one of those officers stepped in and intervened. And, from my situation, I understand that I did stop the chokehold and he does live. So for me, it was really heartbreaking, and I cried for 2 days trying to understand why no one would listen to me. Because if police brutality is the problem, then I figured out the solution, which would be Carrio's law. I should not have lost my pension for doing what was right.
Yeah, you had served 19 years, right? You were 1 year shy of your pension. And I see your shirt there. It says George Floyd needed Carriel Horn. But you watched the video and there was no one stepping in, right? And I wonder if you can tell us what it was like for you in that moment to make that decision. What was your thought process when you decided to step in?
Well, I yelled to him. I said, "Craig, you're choking him," thinking that, whatever happened in the house, that he would come back to reality and stop doing what he was doing. And he didn't stop. So I grabbed his arm from around Neil Mack's neck, and, they fabricated a story. But I never jumped on his back like they said. I simply grabbed his arm from around Neil Mack's neck because Neil Mack was already handcuffed. So there was enough officers there to control the situation.
What do you think, Carriel, should be done to, or happen to, officers who do not intervene?
Well, like I said, under Carriel's law, they would be prosecuted because you would have the duty to intervene. You cannot stand around and watch someone kill someone, watch someone die. You would have to intervene. And it would be a registry, so you can't go from department to department with a history of abuse.
So that there's a way to track folks, right, as they move from one area to another. I wonder for you, you are here.
I'm going to stop it right there. Of course, I'll post a link, but for time's sake, I'm going to move on. But she made a good point, all right, because all they would have to do after they're charged and whatever have you, the process they go through just to make it look good, is go to another state. All right, start all over again. In the meantime, no one, unless something else happens, would know the history of these people. All right. So here's the thing. I mentioned at the top about our people joining the departments or other organizations. All right. And they failed to ask the question, well, why? Here we are as a people, we've had high expectations of people that hate us. All right? There's no justice. Why do you expect such? It's analogous to just use any predatory animal that you will. And we, being representatives of a very meek and humble animal, we're forced to keep going before this vicious predator and asking this predator for help. All right? What do you think is going to happen each time? We are going to be devoured, ripped to pieces. All right? And that's what happens to our people. And we turn around and wonder, well, why is this still happening? It's because you don't understand, first, that you have an enemy and understand who this enemy is. All right? And it's this ongoing cycle. And it comes down, this is spiritual warfare. All right? And it also has to do with Stockholm Syndrome. All right. Our people suffer from what's got to be the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome. All right. And some of us have woken up, through the scriptures, through the Spirit. And we see what's going on. You're trying to tell everybody else, and they're not getting it. They still want to be a part of this wicked ass system. All right. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was not set up to be a just person. He is not. And I was going to draw attention, if you will, when you look at this, pay attention to the facial expressions of the reporter. All right, let's get some scriptures here, and then I'm going to close out because, wow, you can't understand how screwed we are as a people. We got to get up out of here. That's why we should, there's other scriptures about coming up out of this, because Micah 2 and 10, Hebrews 11, 16, Hebrews 13 and 14. We got to get up out of here. We wish for something better than this. All right, this is Psalms 5 and 6. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing, lying. All right, the Most High Yahweh will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. That's who we're dealing with. All right, he's a bloody and deceitful man. Let's go into that leasing just so you'll know. That speaks leasing. Strong's H3577. Kazab. All right. A lie, untrue, falsehood, deceptive thing. All right. Let's go to staying in the book of Psalms, which is primarily what we're going to do, 26. Let's go down to 8. It says, Most High Yahweh, I have loved the habitation of thy house. Wait a minute. Is that right? Yeah. And a place where thine honor dwelleth, gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. Remember, another reason why we're still here, what? It says a gift. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, it says, well, let me get it up here. It says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. And a lot of outsiders say, why y'all still all angry? Well, here it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. I'll give you a good job, nigger, if you just shut up. And often our people take the bait. They take that gift. This is Psalms 43 and 1. It says, judge me, O Most High Yahweh, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. All right. What's the key thing here? You have to ask the Most High. We have to pray and ask the Most High. Remember, in, was it 2nd Chronicles? I'll get it real quick. Oh, deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. Remember, it was said, if we just all as a nation turn to the east and pray to the Most High, in which case you have to know the real name, that he would deliver us on the spot. But we know also through prophecy that's not going to happen. This is Psalms 55 and 23. It says, but thou, O Most High Yahweh, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. There is, all right, when you go to the book of Obadiah, there is a fitting punishment for these devils, all right? Trust me on that one. Well, actually, you don't have to trust me, just read. Isaiah 26. Let's see, 26 and 21. It says, for behold, the Most High Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. All right, Zechariah 2 and 8. They've touched the apple of the Most High's eye, which is us. Finishing out with Romans, 1st chapter. Verse 29. Who are we talking about? Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, and whispers. And there's all kind of scriptures on that. Remember the whispers, what is it talking about? Psalms 50, 16, and 17. And on down, I believe it's verse 19 where it talks about how they slander your own mother's son. All right. Covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy. He wants that birthright back. He's not going to get it. So with that, I went way over. Once again, get in the spirit. I was trying to cover the story. I had to play the video and still didn't finish it. But again, this is who we constantly are crying out to. The chief enemy. All right, our wicked brother. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You're never going to get any justice from him. All right. He's being pulled out of the rulership. And rightfully so. All right. So with that, I hope whoever views this is edified. Again, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. And of course, double honors once again to the apostles of Great Millstone, telling me this truth. Salutations to the occupant out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, all honesty and sincerity, while trying to wake up the hopefully elect. So with that, Shalom, Akim.